Hey gang, Happy New Year. It's a beautiful day here in Jackson Hole. It's actually really warm, but the conditions are perfect for snow running. The snow is nice and crunchy. It's about maybe 15 degrees, which is about 25-30 degrees warmer than it was yesterday morning. I'm just out in the backyard on the bike path. Just a beautiful day. Again, crunchy snow, and thought I'd pump out a video for you guys. Hope your New Year's going well. And kind of with the New Year's, new goals, new resolutions, all that jazz comes about. Start working with my athletes again and taking on new athletes for the new year, the new race season. And kind of what I want to talk about today is your goals and what actually a bad goal is. A lot of times I see athletes will say, yeah, what's your goal? Or I'll ask them what their goal is. And, oh, I'm going to do this race, or I'm going to do that race. And I'm like, yeah, and that's all they really have, is they just want to do a race, which is great. But I think what I found is that either subconsciously or consciously in the back of our minds, that we always have this expectation or a vision in our head of what we truly want that race to look like. Even though we don't have maybe the intention of a specific goal, in our mind we do have an intention of what that specific goal is, but we don't verbalize it, or we don't put it out there because we're either scared or we're afraid to be afraid. We're afraid to be uncomfortable. And that's what a good goal is. So a bad goal is just not being very specific. And where this leads to is if you say, hey, I'm just going to go out and do this race with no specific intention or goal. One, you don't know if you're successful or not, other than finishing or not. That's certainly success or not. But more importantly, you don't have that daily drive. You don't have that getting up in the morning and like, okay, I've got to get out the door today because my goal is this. I'm striving for this goal, for this race. I'm going to place in my age group. I'm going to make it under 12 hours, whatever it is, very specific. And so that drives your daily motivation. But then in the race, when you're out there and things maybe aren't going quite as planned as they always do at certain points, you have that motivation of your goal to kind of keep you focused. But when we have a bad goal of no intention, no specific outcomes, once that race is over, inevitably, we always go back to, again, subconsciously or internally in our mind, comparing it to what we thought our internal expectations were. And many times, most times, that outcome is a disappointment. Is that, oh, I think I could have done better. But hey, you didn't intend to put out what better was. So there's a confusion in the brain. And we as humans tend to go to the negative side of that confusion. And we are ultimately disappointed, even though we may have succeeded, even though we did great, but we don't allow ourselves that success without that intentional, specific goal. So see if you've got a good goal or not in what you're dealing with going forward through 2019, and just kind of soak this in and see if you're really afraid to be afraid. You're afraid of fear. Fear is necessary for a goal, a good goal, and embrace that fear. That's what motivates you day to day. So kind of be honest with yourself and see where you're at with that this year, and maybe challenge yourself to take one race and really be intentional about what you truly want out of that race, and be as specific as possible, because that will feed into your visualization and, again, that daily intention. So hope that's helpful, and hope you're getting a good run in, and we'll see you next time. As always, thanks for chiming in. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share it if you like this, send me topics, all that jazz. So keep me posted on what you might want to hear about. So see you next time. Adios. Hey gang, bonus point. I was on my way home and had another thought that I think is key with what we're talking about with good and bad goals. Being intentional and being specific with your goal is not a free pass to success. So just because you go from having a bad goal or no goal to, oh yeah, I'm going to say I want to do this, doesn't mean it's going to happen. You got to train hard. You've got to go through the daily training that is going to help you towards that goal. But ultimately, that's why we race. That's why we go out there, to see if we can do what we want to do. So again, it's not a free pass, and that's where the fear comes in. You know, you shouldn't really know whether you're going to do it or not until it comes race day, until you're out there. So that's the fear. So again, I just wanted to make that point, is just don't think it's a free pass. That's why they call it all about the journey. And you learn so much about the whole process, and that's what you fall in love with. Race days, icing on the cake. Speaking of icing, our snow levels. Got to get the van running here. All right, over and out.